Representative Eskamani, you're recognized in debate.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And I first just want to say thank you to Representative Mooney, because he and I have had many conversations about this bill when it first got filed, and he's met with different stakeholders and on multiple sides of the debate, and he's tried to make changes. And I want to thank you for that, because I know you've heard us, you tried to make those adjustments. But I also understand that there's only that push and pull that can happen. And for me as a member, I have to make a decision on whether I think it went far enough to the concerns I have. And so unfortunately, I still have to be down this bill, and I'll unpack that quickly. And so I understand the intention of the bill sponsor and of the two particular companies who have been the most public facing on this bill, and that's LeaseLock and Rhino. But I just cannot get over some of the serious consumer protection concerns that this bill and this product has, and that hasn't been addressed. And of course, it's not just me who has these concerns, members, the entire legal aid community that often is that frontline defense for tenants who are navigating whether it's security deposits not being returned to them or the face of an eviction. They've also expressed some serious concerns about this, the structure of this bill and what the structure of these programs and products would be. And I asked questions about this on Tuesday, but remember, members, this is a never-ending fee that a consumer would choose, and there's no cap to that fee. So a landlord can create as big as a fee as they want. I mean, I know the averages have not been too extreme, but we don't have protections to prevent that from happening. There's nothing to stop a landlord from saying the fee is going to be $100 a month or $200 a month, and I think that's really concerning. You can be in a situation as a tenant where you end up paying more in fees than you ever will with a security deposit. And the money doesn't go into a deposit. You lose that money. So when you end up leaving that apartment, and if there are claims filed against you, there's no security deposit to be that cushion for you. So now you have to dig up money from someplace to pay that debt you now owe. And we also know that concerns across the state have said that consumers, when they sign these agreements, are also at risk of losing protections under Chapter 83 in Florida statute to contest the security deposit. Because I don't know if folks know this, but right now in Florida, if a landlord denies you the security deposit, there's a timeline in place to contest that before you even have to consider litigation. And that's there as a protection to help make sure that tenants get their security deposit back when there is nothing beyond wear and tear in the apartment. And I also just want to stress, too, that a lot of folks have expressed concerns about, well, this is getting rid of that obligation of the security deposit, which can be a financial barrier to getting into an apartment. Why don't we talk about capping that? You know, if someone has extreme security deposit requirements at $3,000, that is excessive. But in Florida law today, a landlord can charge as much as they want for a security deposit. There are no protections around that. I also want to add that we're in the middle of an affordable housing crisis right now. And the calls that are coming to my office are not about I'm struggling to get into an apartment. It's around I can't stay in my current apartment because my lease is up for renewal and my rent is going up. So the current conversation we're hearing with our constituents is not asking for a never-ending fee to replace their security deposit. They're frustrated and facing homelessness because they're already in an apartment, but rent is going up 20, 30%. And so I really hope this bill isn't the only one that deals with tenants' issues or renters' issues, because that's not the problem that's overwhelmingly being faced by families right now. And of course, we want to see policy around renters' rights and around helping renters navigate these increase of costs. And some amendments were brought forth to the bill on Tuesday, but they were ruled out of order. But those amendments would have helped address some of these other concerns that tenants do have today. And so with that said, I want to stress that other states have actually done this right. You know, Texas actually has very substantial protections for these programs. And you don't see me preaching about Texas often, but I do think that they're an example of stakeholders coming together to strengthen consumer protections with the rollout of these programs as they get more marketed across the state. And so I really do want to encourage folks to think about this from a consumer lens and realize that the current structure of this bill potentially will put especially vulnerable, low-wealth Floridians in even greater risk. I know it's a voluntary program. I totally get that. But so are payday loans. So is credit card debt. These are voluntary programs that still impact people financially because they have no other choice. If we really want to help folks who cannot afford a security deposit and can't afford rent, then let's find solutions for that. Let's expand affordable housing options. Don't feed into a broken system that's potentially going to let more people actually be in debt. And for those reasons and more, Mr. Speaker, I encourage folks to think about this bill more thoughtfully and join me in expressing opposition.